because children should never have been taken away to those so-called schools, places where they were separated from their families and their communities, places where they faced terrible loneliness, places where they suffered unthinkable abuse. Today, some of the children who were found in Kamloops and who have yet to be found in other places across the country would have been grandparents or great-grandparents. They would have been elders, knowledge keepers, and community leaders. They are not. And that is the fault of Canada.
We need to, Madam Speaker, block off all residential school sites immediately as active crime scenes so that Indigenous nations, survivors, and families can decide how they want to proceed in their search for their loved ones. It should be treated like a crime scene, according to Chief Dennis Meaches from Long Plain First Nation. Stop fighting residential school survivors, including ones from St. Anne's, and provide emergency and ongoing supports for survivors, families, and communities who continue to deal with this trauma as a result of the residential school system.
When we think about how our country was founded, it was founded on racism. It was founded on colonialism. And as a result, Indigenous peoples not only have had to deal with this 150 years ago, but continue to deal with it today. We see systemic racism in policing. We see systemic racism in our healthcare system in Canada. And often we look south of the border and seem to think that we're better than people that live in the United States, and we're not. The racism and colonialism that continues to exist in Canada is unacceptable. All Canadians have to take responsibility for that, and all of us have to take action to make sure that we end the racism and colonialism that continues to exist today.
Adrian Reynolds George, Agnes Michaud, Ambrose Alexander, Annie Frank, Annie Lucy Andrew, Arcel William, Archie Oxim, Bobby Joseph Bell, Carolyn Harris, Christine Jacob, Christine Josephine Joy Joseph, Christine Jules, Clarina Matthew, Eileen Joseph, Florence Morgan, Francis Alec, Francis Maximin, Francis Moses, Frederick Lecamp, George Michel, George Patel, George Perteby, Gertrude James, Gladys Chapman, Henry Lulu, Josephine Louis, John Lecamp, Julian Sharon Dennis, Kathleen Mitchell, Leonard Major, Leslie Lewis, Louise Seymour, Lucine Wimpin, Margaret Falardeau, Marianne Sewell, Mary Francois, Minnie Spy, Nellie Falardeau, Pearl Joe, Peter Michael Perteby, Ronald Frezzi, Rose Adrian, Rosemary Adolph, Sandra Seymour, Shirley Link, Sophie George, Sophie Patel, Theophil Dick Billy, Violet William, Willard Frank William, Willie Joseph. These are some of the children known to have been lost the Kamloops Residential School between 1900 and 1971. The National Center for Truth and Reconciliation, with the guidance of survivors, elders, and knowledge keepers, developed a memorial register to honor the children that never returned home.